Welcome back to another episode of Docs Outside the Box. What's good, people? It's your host, Dr. Nee Darko, and this is another solo episode, just like the previous one, based off of the downloads as well as the feedback. Looks like you guys really enjoyed that one, so I'm in between editing a full episode, and I figured why wait this long before giving you another episode, so I just give you something that is on my mind. I am driving from the middle of central PA to Pittsburgh for a conference that I got to fly out to in Atlanta, Georgia. And I figured I'll talk to you about the three things that I've noticed about the guests that I've had on my show. All right. So here are the three things that I've noticed. And it's funny I'm bringing this up because right now we're getting about a week before the anniversary of my show started, which was about late April of last year. But these are the three things that I've noticed among all of the successful guests that I've had. Actually, they're all successful. Number one is whatever project that they're working on, whatever thing that they are known for, they are passionate about it. Now, I know you guys hear that term all the time, passion, be passionate about this, to the point where it's just overrated in my thoughts. But I do think there's something to be said about enjoying the craft that you're doing. So whether you're doing a podcast or whether you are live streaming on Facebook and Twitter, or you're just dropping inspirational quotes to people, or whatever it is, just make sure that you enjoy that process, because I'm telling you right now, you are going to fail at what you do. Not in a major way, or sometimes maybe in a major way, but there are going to be times where you are not going to want to do something. You are going to, feel discouraged about things. And the only thing that's going to get you through, to continuing to do that craft is how passionate you are about that project, how much you enjoy that project. And here's an example with me. There were times when I did this podcast and I just was not getting the downloads that I wanted to get. And, I was getting a little discouraged about it. I thought that when I started my show that, I would be getting literally thousands of downloads. And when I opened up the show was to crickets, but I had to do the work. I had to go on social media. I had to go on, various different places and let people know about it and do the work. And, I'm at a point where I'm at now. Am I at where I want to be? No, but I enjoy talking to guests. I enjoy getting knowledge. And although this show is to inspire you guys, this show really initially was for me, because I just wanted to know, get some tidbits from these very successful doctors. What is it that they're doing? What is it that they're doing that's getting them to the next level? How is it that they're living outside the box? And with that, I would take that piece of information and kind of live outside the box with myself. So that's something that I want you guys to take from that. One is enjoy what you're doing. If you're not sure, just find whatever you're passionate about. All right. Number two is be consistent with it. Be consistent with whatever craft that you're doing. Whether it's speaking, whether it's live streaming, whatever it is, you're not going to be perfect as soon as you start. You're going to make a lot of mistakes. There's going to be some bumps in the road. My podcast, obviously, if you listen to the first episode and compare it to now, although there's an improvement, it comes with a lot of practice. And even to the point where I feel like I probably won't really get very comfortable with doing this until I get to like episode 100 and even 200 before I feel like, I got this. But I'm okay with the process. I'm okay with the pain of what's going, with the sacrifice of what's going on, with me putting out podcasts. So one thing that I heard on a really good podcast, a very famous podcast, one that I really like to listen to, is this one podcast host said, fall in love with the pain, fall in love with the process, not with the prize. Okay, and what that means is there's going to be a lot of pain. There's going to be a lot of process that's going to be involved with getting you to the end product. A lot of times people get discouraged because they have this great idea, but they're not sure exactly how to start because they're in love with this nice glitzy idea that they have, and they don't realize that it's going to take, days, months, even years to get to the point of where they're at this, finished, polished prize. And I was there, when I first started off the show. I wanted the best website. I wanted the best social media. And as you guys can see, I still got a lot of work to do in those areas, but I still come prepared every day. I still come and I, reach out to my guests and, I'm figuring out ways to get my social media posts better. I'm coming with it on a daily basis. I'm coming with it as consistent as I can be. And I've noticed that these guests are very consistent with their craft, no matter what anybody says. People laugh at them, who cares? They're coming back at it again. If they have a major failure, who cares? They're coming back at it again. So please take heed to that, to number 2. And then the third one that I've noticed, the third theme that I've noticed that's common among all of the guests is they are not afraid to ask for help. I said in one of my podcasts earlier that you look at LeBron James, even though he's the best basketball player in the earth right now, he still has a coach. You look at some of the most important CEOs, they all have coaches. You look at Serena Williams, she's an individual player. She's not in a team sport, but she has a coach who's sitting in the stands giving her advice, on what to do within different sets. So that's one thing that you guys need to understand. Why is it that it's okay for them to have coaches, but for us, whatever we want to do, we don't feel like we need coaches? And I'm not saying that you need to go and find, this next guru or that coach. All I'm saying is whether you use your spouse or your partner or a friend, a family member, whoever it is, find someone who you trust, find someone who can critique and you trust and really give you honest advice on how to make your product better. Okay? Now for me, I run a lot of things by my wife. I trust her, but oftentimes I talk to friends and, they give me the plain truth and they tell me, "Nee, this is kind of whack." You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of times when, I could give you more podcasts, but because, I go through the process over and over and over again, and, sometimes it may be to a fault, I delay things because I want to make it really good. So it's a tough balance that, I oftentimes have to walk. But those are 3 themes that I've noticed among all of my guests on the show, Docs Outside the Box. I think those are 3 things that you all, in order to live the life that you want, in order to be as successful as you want to be, those are some things that I think that you all should pick up. So with that, I want you guys to always remember you can send me feedback. Facebook, IG, Twitter. You can always reach me. I'm always quick to get back to you. Facebook, I'm a little slow, but that's because of the notifications. I haven't figured it out yet. But always feel free to reach out to me. I love the feedback. And remember, if you're finding value with this show, if this show means something to you, go ahead and share it with someone. Tweet it out to someone else. And let me know. Take a screenshot of it when you tweet it out to someone else. So I'm going to jet, but you know what time it is. Always live outside the box.